more episodes of the Games4all podcast, please check out our website, www.games4allpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/Games4all. And you can like us on Facebook, just search for Games4all podcast. Games4all is brought to you by iPage. For more affordable and greener web hosting, check out ipage.com.
Hello and welcome to the Games4all podcast, episode 42. I'm your host Dan Young, and with me as always is my good friend
Rebecca De Mornay. Not really, I'm James Craigie.
Very obscure, well done. Okay, so making a few quick announcements before we kind of start the show. We have joined forces with an old podcast, and for anyone who doesn't know the news, we've hooked up with the Underground Geek Network podcast. Awesome, and from now on, basically we're going to be promoting them during our breaks and stuff, and they'll be doing the same for us. So yeah, we kind of developed a little partnership together, which is pretty awesome. So look forward to their little advert that we're going to be throwing in the show later. Secondly, I'm going to mention, it's more of a reminder that we're going to be doing the Homefront Game Night Live thing on Ustream tonight.
Yeah.
So obviously this episode goes up on Wednesday. That is when it's happening. Wednesday night at 6 PM GMT.
Yep.
I do believe. Details are on our website www.games4allpodcast.com. Hope to see you tonight. Looking forward to it. So we're gonna have basically play first 2 hours of Homefront and see what it's like really, and just kind of do a bit of a running commentary on it and stuff. And
Yep.
It's the first in our kind of series called Game Night Live that we're going to be doing live over Ustream. So hopefully it's a success, and please, watch it.
It'll be good. It'll be good fun.
It should be, and we'll embed that into the website. So once you've got more than one chance to watch it. And so, what have we been playing?
Dragon Age 2.
Care to elaborate on that?
It's the sequel to Dragon Age Origins.
We know that. Also, so a bit more detail, come on.
It is good, as is a well-known fact. I'm a dedicated follower of BioWare.
I think the term is BioWare whore.
Yes.
Yep. As coined by yourself.
Yes. I like it. I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's dumbed down and it's so short and all that," but
I have read some slightly negative responses to this.
The way I see it, it's really not dumbed down. There's not a lot that isn't there that was in Origins. It's just been streamlined to make it easier to access. It flows a lot better. It's a lot easier to get into.
Right.
Not dumb, but all the main things are still there. So that's not bad. And as for it being short, well, they had something like 3 years to work on Origins, and they churned this out in 16 months, I think. 18 months. Yeah. So
it probably is 16, but yeah.
Yeah, but
it's released in 18 months.
It's a very different game story-wise. Because obviously the first one was epic, good versus evil, blah, 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 blah. And it gave it sort of a generic feel, I think, and a lot of people commented on it as fairly generic. This time they're trying to differentiate it. They've restyled it, they've taken the story in a different direction.
Right.
It's more kind of humanised and political.
Okay.
But no, I like it. It's different in some ways, and a lot of those ways I like, but it's still, at its core, it feels very much like Dragon Age. To me, anyway.
Awesome. Well, I say, I have read some slightly more negative things. A lot of fans of, the original Dragon Age weren't too happy about this.
Well, I think it's all to do with EA. Obviously, I think one of the big things is that it was much shorter, and a lot of the assets have been reused and all that.
Yeah.
I think that comes down basically to EA wanting them to get it out the door quicker.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. You think about the amount of time and money it takes to make games compared to back in the day. It's a lot more expensive nowadays.
Yeah.
So EA,
well, I mean, let's not forget. I mean, BioWare are obviously they're a known company. They're reasonably big, but not huge. And I mean, they are working on Mass Effect 3 as well, so
Precisely.
They've got other stuff, going on.
They're expanding, and the Old Republic MMO.
Yeah,
on PC.
So they've got plenty going on, and it's probably not a big enough team working on it in the first place.
Well, no, there is that, but I have a feeling that the game's length will probably improve with DLC, and a lot of people are unhappy about that But like I said, it costs a lot more to make a game now.
Sort of the EA way, though, isn't it?
It is. They want to get as much money, and you know, if it's the difference between buying a game for 40 quid, it's what, $60?
Yeah.
And paying for like extra DLC to make it last longer, or spending like 100 quid on the full complete game and waiting for it, I'd much rather get the game sooner and spend more money spread out.
Yeah, a lot of people probably feel the same way. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd probably prefer to do that too, you know, get the core game and then kind of build on it.
I think it's something like you say, for every one person on the internet who complains about something, there's about 4 or 5 who don't really mind or like it. Yeah,
exactly. So you know, at the end of the day, people are more likely to go out of their way and spend time making a big deal out of something if they don't like it than if they do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know, if I hate a game, I'll probably go on about it more than I would if I fucking loved it. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's just how people are. Because
if you love the game, you'll be playing it.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, that's awesome. So you're getting on pretty good with that. I can imagine over the next few weeks, that is primarily what you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
Been very Dragon Age focused over the last 2 months or so, in case anyone's noticed.
Well, it kind of builds up. Every time BioWare release a new game, it kind of gets to this big hype where I play through all their games.
So basically, on the lead up to Mass Effect 3, you're pretty much going to be
focused on that,
yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, I've not been playing anywhere near as much stuff as I'd like to have this week. I'm so busy and stuff. But interestingly, do you remember last week's show at the end, because at the end of the show we announced what games are coming out, etc, etc. Last week we spoke about Yoostar 2, and I kind of said, oh yeah, you know, if like any of my friends get the game, I'll give it a go, and you know, see what it's like. Turns out that, you know, somebody did get it, and so I won't name and shame them, but like they heard the podcast and said, yeah, you know, do you want to come around and have a go on it? And so I spent about an hour with Yoostar 2. And for anyone that doesn't know, it's kind of it's a similar kind of game to You're in the Movies, where it uses the Kinect, or if you're playing it on PlayStation, it's the Move.
Yeah.
But basically, it really just utilises the camera and microphone built into that kind of system. And what it does is you can act out scenes from certain movies and put yourself in the film, and it scores you based on how you do. The idea is kind of fun.
Yeah.
The execution of it is quite poor.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, to make it look good, you need a fucking proper lighting studio, and the chance of you having that in your front room is it's pretty fucking slim. And you know, to be honest, the chance of you having enough room to play this game is pretty slim, you know, in your front room, let alone having the proper lighting. But I did have a bit of time with it. It was fun, but I don't think it's something that, you know, I had an hour playing it. It was a laugh, but I don't think I would have played it for much longer given the choice anyway. I think what's good about this is the content they've got there. The fact that they've got these really good scenes from these great movies, and there's something like 80 odd scenes on the disc that you can perform. And
that's cool, and they'll be doing more as well.
Yeah, there'll be DLC. There'll be plenty of DLC, I'm sure. But like some of the stuff they got on that disc is really good, and it's like, oh yeah, that movie's amazing. Oh, that scene's amazing. Yeah, you know, it's fun, and it's fun to watch other people do it as well. And it is one of those games, if you were like really drunk and had loads of friends over, you'd be like, oh, Yoostar 2, put it on, you know, just prat around with it maybe. And you know, it's not great. It's not by any stretch of the imagination. It's not amazing. I mean, it's hard to do this kind of game and execute it really well. I mean, You're in the Movie was basically just a bunch of mini games, and it throws you into a kind of fake trailer thing at the end. And it was clever how it did it, but it still looked like shit. And it was fun for what it was, but nothing great. I mean, I wouldn't buy it personally.
No. Do you think this sort of caters to the people who maybe get out of the shower, look in the mirror, and quote Taxi Driver?
Well, it could well be, yeah. That's what's kind of missing off the disc, actually, is Taxi Driver. I was kind of hoping it'd be on there. But, yeah, it's all... I mean, it's okay. It's a bit of fun. It's not worth the full retail price, if I'm honest. It doesn't really utilise Kinect or Move very well. It's more skipping through the menus and stuff. You might as well just have a control pad in your hand. So, you know, the fact that it basically just uses the PlayStation Eye or the Kinect camera or whatever and something else is like the sound quality is so awful. I mean, I played it with Kinect obviously, but like obviously the microphone Kinect, I didn't realise how bad that was until playing this game. It sounded really tinny and horrible. But it's alright, it's a bit of a laugh. But other than that, I wasn't expecting to play that. So it's just kind of one of those things. I said it on the show and look what happened. But out of curiosity, I just kind of threw in Medal of Honor the other day, because for regular listeners probably know how I feel about the recent reboot of Medal of Honor.
Oh, I know I do.
It wasn't anywhere near as good as it should have been, and generally quite a disappointing game overall. But it's been sat on my shelf since we got it, and kind of I've been looking at it and thinking, you know what, maybe I should put it in and give it another try. You know, I don't know, it's just sat there, and I just keep looking at it and thinking, you know, I think it's partly because a decent trailer for Battlefield 3 came out recently.
Oh yeah,
showing what some of the stuff DICE are doing, and I don't know. It's kind of, I know there's two different studios working on Medal of Honor, but it just kind of made me think of that, and so I popped that in, and then I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to jump straight into multiplayer, because we played the beta, and that was really rough around the edges when we played that, but just to see kind of how good it was, because we played a bit, but you know.
Obviously, it's been a little while now, so there's probably been some updates.
There's been an update and a patch for it that I applied, and it's actually really quite good. The multiplayer is definitely the best part of Medal of Honor, the recent Medal of Honor. So, not to the standard of Black Ops, but it's still pretty good. You know, I had fun with it, and you know, I think that game should get more credit for the multiplayer side. DICE definitely did a really good job on that, and you know, it's just a shame the single player campaign was just not as didn't live up to the expectations. And then I did play some Black Ops straight afterwards, just to kind of have a bit of a comparison. And you know, I jumped into some matches and stuff, and it was kind of fun. And you know, nothing unusual really, just kind of that really.
Yeah, well, that'll be good for next week's show when we're talking about Homefront. So it'll be good to
really
keep it fresh in your mind.
Looking forward to playing that. And so so we'll be playing that tonight, and well, not tonight as we're recording, but tonight as if when the show goes up. So Wednesday.
Well, it has been a bit of a quiet week for what we've been playing.
A little bit, yeah. So, we're going to take a quick break, and while we do so, please enjoy these messages from the Underground Geek Network.
Grab your video games, your comic books, and your anime. You're about to go underground.
Hey guys, it's Aaron from UndergroundGeekNetwork.com. This week on our show, we have a special Pokemon featurette. You can grab that on iTunes.
Or you can get it on our website, along with our other episodes of our podcast at www.undergroundgeeknetwork.com.
And we're also on Facebook. Just search for Underground Geek Network.
Hello and welcome back to the Games4all podcast. Thanks to the guys at the Underground Geek Network. Their show's pretty fucking awesome, to be honest. We've kind of been... they're like 4 episodes in. I think the 4th episode just went online today or yesterday. And, these guys are really, really cool. And it's a really good show.
Yeah.
So, please, you know what? I mean, as much as you may like this show, and I really hope you do, but check them out as well, because they cover a bit more than video games and
they
comics
do
and stuff.
Like comics and anime and
absolutely.
movies and stuff. And it's cool.
Absolutely. So please check them out. We're going to keep plugging them and promoting them. We'll hopefully have them on the show at some point. You know,
that would be awesome. In
however long time. We're in discussions with them at the moment. But they're affiliated with us now. So good times. Okay, well, we've got some news to talk about. So
we've got quite a lot of news, actually.
Probably too much news, actually. So we'll just kind of crack on with it. Yeah,
I'll skip through the less important ones and focus more, but we'll get through it. It'll be fine. First off, Kinect. A couple of Kinect stories for you. It has set the Guinness World Record for the fastest selling electronic device.
Yeah, something like 10 million
units so far.
Just over 10 million units to date, yeah. It's pretty impressive. I mean, you know, it's...
Microsoft must be really happy with that.
Yeah, you can't blame them. I mean, it is a fun device, and utilised properly, it's great. But, I mean, we're still at a point where the software for it is... You know, the good stuff's out, but, you know, it is few and far between. There's some stuff out there that's not that great, and there's some real fucking shovelware and stuff. There's stuff that's been ported to kind of work with it that doesn't really work with it.
Yeah.
So the proper built for Kinect games, that's what I'm looking for. And we're still waiting on this Gears of War for Kinect announcement. They're going to announce it at some point, but yeah.
I imagine they're probably waiting for E3 for that.
Yeah, quite easily, I think. But still, I mean, Child of Eden looks pretty amazing for what it is, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we've just had PAX East this last weekend. Tons of stuff shown off there. Not many announcements, to be honest, so we're not really going to... We would have more liked to have covered stuff from PAX East, but it's just been kind of... with that and GDC, it's just basically showing stuff off, really. It hasn't been like previous years' big announcements. I think everyone's saving themselves for E3, which is going to be awesome if they are, because E3 is just going to be stupid good with news and stuff. But good sales for Kinect. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I know loads of people have got it.
Yeah, I bet it was like a lot of money invested on
Microsoft, yeah,
on Microsoft's part.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a big risk, and it's paid off. And like you said, we've sort of had all the launch titles and everything. They're all there now.
All the decent titles are kind of out at the moment, and then we're kind of just waiting on
for the second wave.
Yeah, and I think they need to kind of bring some stuff out real soon. I know Child of Eden isn't too far away, but yeah, they kind of need to really push more titles out, because...
I'm still waiting for the Panzer Dragoon game. Stuff to come.
Yeah.
For that. And that Star Wars one as well.
So. Yeah, we haven't heard anything much about that. So E3, I'm hoping they're going to kind of say, hey, you know what, E3, here's a shitload of Kinect games that are coming out, and they're coming out this year. That's what I hope for, because if it comes around kind of towards the holiday season this year and there's nothing out for it, then sales are just going to... I mean, sales will probably start dropping soon anyway, but I can't see people going out and buying it. But there is another news story that is sort of tied into that. So
Kinect Sports 2. Rare are working on it.
Yep.
Something about... success hinges on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rare are one of those companies that have been owned by Microsoft for quite a while now, and they've made some pretty good games, but for the most part, I don't think their stuff sells as good as it should do, and I think Microsoft have kind of been rethinking their kind of relationship with them a little bit. But Kinect Sports is a great game, and it's I think that's
Rare
pushed
done
them
a lot of
more.
work with like the avatars and stuff.
Yeah, they pretty much are responsible for the avatars on 360, which is great. But I think basically if Kinect Sports 2 doesn't sell well, then I think Rare's in some big trouble. That's kind of a rumor, but. Yeah. There's probably some truth in it somewhere.
Yeah, they might end up getting absorbed. Or
they might not. Yeah, exactly. So, who knows when that'll come out? That probably will come out, I would say, this year. Well, I mean, if it's a no-show at E3, probably wouldn't put it up for this year, but I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah.
So, no, that'd be great.
I mean, Kinect Sports was one of the better.
Let's hope they just don't call it Kinect Sports Resort.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That'd be awful, but yeah.
But no, Kinect Sports was one of the better games.
It is, definitely one of the better games for Kinect at the moment, and I recommend people get it because it is so much fun.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. iPad 2.
Yep.
Supposed to have like better performance, better graphics, and some of the games that are out for it are getting an upgrade for it.
Yeah, I think it's got it's got the new A5 chip from Apple, processor in it, which is like the latest thing for Apple to bring out, and I think the iPhone and the iPhone 4 and the iPad, the original, have like the A4 processor in it, which was good, but this has got like 9 times the graphics power or some shit, and so a bunch of like the big games for it are actually taking full advantage of it and having re-releasing their versions of it, like an iPad 2 optimized version.
Yeah.
There are some screenshots online comparing like the biggest, most high profile title is Infinity Blade.
Yeah, well that was one of the big high-profile titles for the
iPad in general,
so.
But I mean, if there's some screenshot comparisons, and the iPad 2 version does look a hell of a lot better. There's extra textures in there, and it just looks so much more detailed. It looks a lot more Unreal Engine-ish.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. It's fucking so close to like what you could. I mean, it's almost Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3. Ish.
That is awesome.
It's very close. I mean, it's still dumbed down obviously a little bit because the hardware's only so good, but it looks fucking amazing. I mean, if you were impressed with how Infinity Blade looked on the iPad, then the iPad 2 version just blows it out of the water. And the Dead Space game for it also has been upgraded.
Oh, that is
not a major difference with
Yeah.
that one as there is with Infinity Blade, but it still does look better. It looks a little bit sharper, crisper, some more textures in there. So yeah, definitely. I mean, it's cool that they're actually, you know, Apple come out and say, yep, 9 times the freaking graphics power, and I'm glad people are like saying, you know what, yeah, we're gonna optimize our game for iPad 2 so that it's you can take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
That's one way to kind of get people to buy the second one, I guess, really.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I can't wait to give it a go.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people who...
Yes, I plan to get one.
You plan to get one.
Yeah.
I know that my other half really wants one.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, can't wait to give it a go and see how it is.
Awesome.
Okay. Dragon Age 2.
Yes.
Talked about it a little bit already.
Yeah.
Now, what BioWare have been doing, I think Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 2, they've all been linked to your EA account.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of links to the BioWare forums and all that. Yeah. One fan basically did a post on the BioWare forums saying, EA, you've sold your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
And got banned. Which, I don't know if that proves his point, but there you go. But
some people maybe in this room might share the same opinion, but let's not get into that.
Well, in the end, it's not BioWare's fault.
No.
They've sold...
I put it this way, look, I mean, I don't blame EA. EA make a lot of business decisions, let's be honest. At the end of the day, they're a business, they're into making money, but they're in the games business, so they might not make the choices, let's just say, that everyone's happy with, but it benefits them. So
I mean, games development now isn't what it was like. I mean, when BioWare started, it was the doctors. They just finished their medical degrees and they decided, we're not going to pursue medicine, we're going to make games. And it was a really small team working on games. It's not like that anymore. It's now a big money business. But that's not what this story's about.
You're going to go off on one then?
Yeah.
We could do we might do a BioWare episode. We can explain the history or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I've played pretty much all of their games.
Oh, yeah, no. Didn't they do a Sonic the Hedgehog game?
Oh, yes.
Did you play that?
Yes.
Oh dear. Okay, anyway, Karen.
But anyway.
We don't talk about that.
No. Every family has a
black
horrible
sheep.
child. A black sheep that they lock in the attic or the cellar or something and don't talk about.
That is one of them.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, carry on with the story.
Right. Basically, there was some sort of glitch which it should have just affected on his account on the BioWare forums.
And not the EA account.
Not the EA account, but somehow the EA account was
banned.
Affected.
Yeah.
Which meant that he couldn't play Dragon Age 2.
Or install it.
Or
anything.
Which for a single player game, I mean, you've heard stuff about people being banned on multiplayer, and well, fair enough, but
yeah,
being banned from playing a single player game.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit.
But they did say that shouldn't have happened. It was a freak glitch. They were looking into it, investigating it.
I think he was banned for about 3 days. So basically, he had his copy of Dragon Age 2 and couldn't play it for 3 days.
Yeah.
But I think he'll probably think again before letting out some shit like that on the forum.
Precisely.
I think we all will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if it's anything to do with EA.
But no, basically they're looking into making sure that something like that doesn't happen again. It shouldn't have happened in the first place, but I don't think it's going to be a common occurrence. I don't think we're going to see...
Yeah, I think it's kind of a funny story because there's kind of 2 parts to it. The first part was that this dude got banned and he thought it was because he said such and such on the forums. Then it blew up into this whole thing online. Yeah. Then it turns out, oh, by the way, the update is, it was just a mistake.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't because he said what he said.
No.
You know. It's kind of funny, really, if you think about it.
But it hasn't stopped Dragon Age 2 from doing really, really well. Yeah. I mean, UK charts were released at the beginning of the week, and it actually outsold Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon Black and White?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The new one, which normally, when they first come out, they normally storm to the top. Because
I think it's kind of different over here, though, because, I mean, it is popular. Pokemon is popular.
Well, Pokemon is the number 2.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But, I think in the US it's far... bigger thing than it is here, and so therefore it would,
having said that, I know about however many friends I have on Facebook. I know probably at least 50 or 60 of them who are Pokemon fans who have the game.
Really, that many?
Yeah, I'm kind of ashamed. I'm thinking I should probably steer away from Facebook a bit now, but.
Alright, no, I mean that's good for the. I mean it's great. I mean great sales for Pokemon, great sales for Dragon Age. It's quite surprising actually. I mean I know Pokemon is not as big as it is. Big over here as it is in the US, but still, I would have expected it to have outsold Dragon Age 2. So.
Well done.
All right,
kudos.
Well, excellent. Next story.
Batman Arkham City, another game I'm really, really excited about.
You may have mentioned it, yeah.
Still not seen any gameplay footage, but hopefully
I think that, like I said, E3,
Yeah.
Everything's just going to... Trailers are just going to be popping up in the internet left, right, and
I
centre.
think next couple of months we'll see more because the release date has been announced.
Yep.
So now we know when it's coming out. They're going to start the campaign of getting people interested in drumming it all up and everything.
Awesome.
And they've done pretty well so far, but release dates are as follows.
Mm-hmm.
In the US, it'll be 18th of October this year, obviously.
Cool.
Australia, the day after.
Mm-hmm.
And in Europe, it'll be the 21st.
It's kind of standard Tuesday, Friday release date.
I have to say, it's pretty surprising about Australia because it was the same with that, but they get their games released on a Wednesday, whereas America is on Tuesday and us on a Friday. Australia normally have to wait like a week.
All right, the following week.
Week.
That's cool. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, but the same happened with Dragon Age as well. But so it's looking like for like the main titles at least they're going to be getting them sooner. But
well, I know you're excited for Batman Arkham City, and I'm sure we'll cover it fairly extensively when it comes to E3 and stuff like that. Because I think
a lot of people
I think
want to see it running.
between now and E3, I think there's many conferences up anyway. So I think we've you get GDC and PAX at the sort of towards the beginning of the year, then it's like the middle of the year you get E3 and that. So yeah, we probably won't hear an awful lot more about it until then. So, but that's good. It's good. It gives us something to talk about later on.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Awesome.
Okay, the Sony versus LG war has taken another turn.
Yeah.
LG have been told to release the consoles.
Okay, well, so anyone who's just kind of new to the show and hasn't heard the story,
okay.
We might as well. I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty. I'll try and sum it up as quickly as I can. But LG basically have accused Sony of using some technology in their PlayStation 3s that they own the patent to.
Yeah.
So there's a big court thing going on right now, and LG took a major, offensive action by stopping all, or basically confiscating all PlayStation 3s coming into Europe.
Yeah.
So, and they confiscated them for about 10 days or more now.
Yeah.
So I think it was about 2 weeks ago we updated the story. And now basically, well, this is...
They've now been told, stop grabbing them, release the consoles, stop.
Release the consoles.
Release the consoles. Stop your seizures. Not.
Stop seizing.
Stop seizing them.
Yeah.
And pay up the court costs.
Right.
Now the court costs run to $179,000
Shit.
which equates to, you did the maths on this.
Yeah.
That's good. Because I would never have been able to work it out.
You're gone.
But £110,601 court costs.
Yeah, roughly.
And for every day they refuse to let the consoles go.
Release the consoles.
That's the name of the show. It will cost them $276,000.
So every day past, I mean, they obviously the courts have said this, for every day it takes them to hand them back over to Sony or, to whomever, that's how much it's going to cost them. So this could be very, very expensive for LG, yet if they are proven to be in the right and have and Sony in the wrong, then this could just be peanuts.
Yeah.
Realistically, this money we're talking about here could be nothing, really.
Yeah.
Right, and so Sony could be paying up big time. I mean, LG probably shouldn't have taken this kind of action. It's cost them a little bit of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they were getting at. It's part of their investigation into it, I'm sure, but they probably had no right to do it, and so, yeah.
I imagine they'll probably be handing them back fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you updated as we find out more.
Yeah.
Okay. Bethesda Softworks, makers of such brilliant games as Fallout and, well, not the original Fallout, but Fallout 3 and
Oblivion, Skyrim that's coming out in November.
And Wet.
Hey, I played it. It was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. I joke. I shouldn't really. It wasn't a terrible game. I enjoyed the demo.
Yeah, I played. I've got it at home. It's alright.
I watched you swear a lot playing the game. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you don't swear at a game, it's doing something wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They have announced that they are releasing Prey 2.
Well, do you know a sequel to a game that I've also got and played?
Yeah, Prey. It was one of the really early ones. It came out 2006.
Yeah, it was like PC and 360 only. You can't get. I think that's the only 2 platforms it was released on.
Yeah.
But I played through it and quite liked it. It was
trippy.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah, it was. is definitely different. I mean, it's not one of those games that you can put in now and think, wow, that looks amazing.
I think it made a lot of people feel fairly queasy because there was a lot of running on walls and gravity defying. And
quite a strange game.
It was. I mean, I played the demo, and I have to say, the demo
kind of Doom-esque.
Yeah.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was made by id as well, because they're part of the Bethesda Softworks family, aren't they? So or the whatever it is, ZeniMax family.
Media Corporation. Yeah.
So it was made by id, so it's pretty much made by the folks behind Doom. So that's kind of why it felt like that. But I quite liked that game. It was alright. It wasn't amazing, but it was worth playing.
Yeah, like I said, I played the demo, and the demo was long.
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours long or something. It took me to play through it.
Pretty cool.
I kind of wondered whether will this ever stop? Have I just bought the whole game, or what? Because that's how long the demo was.
That's longer than like Killzone 3, apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but no, that's good. I mean, 6 years is a long wait for anybody who's been waiting for it.
It is, but then it's cool. I mean, games like I enjoyed the original, and obviously they can do quite a bit with a sequel these days, and it's good that they've gone, fuck it, let's make Prey 2, and things like that. And games that are coming out of the woodwork like that, like the announcement of several weeks ago when we made The Darkness 2.
Yeah.
That I was not expecting, and when I heard about it, I was like, fucking sweet. You know what I mean? I love The Darkness. It's such a good game, and yeah, it deserves a sequel. I mean, it's come later than expected, but still,
Yeah. You see, I kind of like that.
I'll pick up Prey 2 and I'll pick up The Darkness 2, and I'm sure I love both of them, so.
we sort of expect sequels for like really...
Sorry, go on.
For those games that we really enjoy, that maybe not as super AAA title, but AA title, ones that do fairly well and are well liked and well received, kind of not expecting sequels to, but have them announced later. That's cool. I mean, there are a lot of games that I think probably don't warrant it. They get sequels straight away, like iterations every year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So no, I'm
hopefully we're cutting that shit out.
Yeah.
Only give sequels to games that deserve it.
Yeah.
Release the consoles! Sorry, go on. I'm getting a little bit crazy now.
I am looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Immensely.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Anyway, PAX East has just gone.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
One of the games that was showcased there that turned up there was BioShock Infinite, a game that I know is very high on your radar.
Yeah, a little bit, yes. Yeah. I'm aware of it, yeah.
Well, as you're the resident expert, I'll let you explain what they showed.
Well, primarily, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know exactly what they showed. Well, no. They could have showed more, but
it's still fairly early in development.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, obviously, there's an amazing 10 minutes of gameplay that we're all privy to now. Or you can see it on, on the internet. It's everywhere. But the god himself, Ken Levine, came down from his throne and said, talked about the game a little bit.
I give unto the BioShock Infinite.
And he did some interviews and stuff and gave a few more details about the game. But they showed off this really cool kind of previs demo, and it was the Rails stuff. Now, if anyone's seen the 10 minutes of gameplay, they'll know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah,
it's the kind of skyhook thing. The skyhook thing, yeah. Yeah. So, and they demoed how that's going to kind of work. And obviously, the previous stuff looks really rough. It's all
it's grey boxes with
exactly. But
little things. And
if it works if you can kind of take the aesthetics of what you've seen so far and apply it to that, this is going to be some fucking awesome shit.
Yeah.
So BioShock Infinite. I mean, it's going to be amazing anyway. I have full faith in in Irrational Games making this. It's going to be amazing. But that is impressive shit. That they've been showing off.
I watched the previs, and even at this early stage, the feeling they got, especially compared to BioShock, the original one, that felt very sort of enclosed, and that was part of what it was. You were trapped underwater and all this. This kind of gives you a feeling of freedom and space.
Even though probably you don't have that much, it
gives that sense, because you can sort of see various lines where you're going, whatever, and aim for them.
You just kind of aim for them, It's pretty cool. You just drop kind of thing and latch on automatically. It's pretty cool.
And whereas BioShock set under the water, obviously trapped, this kind of gives you a sense of height, which kind of goes with the setting of the game and everything. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that all...
So instead of a fear of drowning, there's now a fear of heights.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Both fears of mine, actually.
Just throw some sharks and bears and then it'll be sorted.
Like I said, falling from a great height into open water with bears riding sharks and stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, sweet. I wish I was a game developer. I'd totally make that game. But yeah, BioShock Infinite, very, very excited about it. Hope more stuff comes out at E3. I'm hoping we get to see a bit more gameplay. but not too much because it's still kind of a bit of a wait for it. So
they don't want to get us all juiced up and then leave us dangling.
Exactly. Anyways,
Microsoft. I'm not too aware of this. This is one that you brought to my attention, so I'll let you explain it again. Possible $1.2 million stolen in virtual money.
Well, you know how Microsoft's Xbox Live Marketplace works. You use the Microsoft points, etc. Well, some cheeky little folks,
rapscallions,
kind of created this algorithm to work out a way of kind of generating code that actually worked. And so this happened kind of last week, but not enough time for us to kind of mention it on the show. But basically they generated a shit ton of codes and have been kind of handing them out a little bit here and there, and a bunch of people have been using them online and getting all these Microsoft points and stuff. And there's the figures came out that there's about 1.2 million's worth of Microsoft points in obviously in dollars money's worth, but
that's a lot. Of money.
Microsoft actually came out and made a statement saying that it's actually probably nowhere near that. It could be fucking hell of a lot more.
Yeah,
we don't know, but that's kind of the figure that was thrown out there. So potential 1.2 million's worth of dollars worth of Xbox Live points stolen. They can track it though. That's the thing. They can track it. They can trace it, and the people who are guilty of it will be found out, I'm sure, and probably
that's why
burnt at the stake, hung, drawn, and quartered, and all that kind of stuff.
Paraded in their underwear in front of Bill Gates.
Release the consoles. Anyway, go on. Next story. I mean, that was it. That was kind of it. It's a kind of a short story, but that's kind of what's happening. We don't know any more at the moment. We'll fill you guys in if we do hear anything else.
Now, listeners of the show know that we're big fans of movies based on video games.
We probably should be, but we're not.
No.
Not so much. No.
Well, have we been given much reason to be?
No, that's right, fair enough. Okay, go on, hit me with the news. What's this big revelation?
New Doom movie? Reboot?
Yeah?
Yeah? You excited about that?
No.
Really? Come on. The first one was so good.
I mean,
Sense the irony.
Yeah. I mean, this is a shock to me because, I mean, I wouldn't have thought the original Doom movie would have done anywhere near as good to kind of warrant a sequel from me. But then it's not really a sequel, it's a reboot. There's a lot of reboots coming out, man. I mean, at the end of the day, just about every franchise under the moon, video game or otherwise, or whatever, is being rebooted. Not just video games, movies, everything. Everything's seeing reboots.
Do you remember a time when you did reboots and remakes of films that were like a couple of decades old, or like old stuff? Now they're kind of making reboots of movies that came out less than 10 years ago. Yeah,
it's quite scary, really. But I mean, this is one of those things, again, it'll probably time with Doom 4 whenever that gets announced and released. I'm sure, obviously Doom 4 is going to come out at some point, but, IDA working on Rage at the moment. Once that's out the gate, I'm sure, Doom 4 might rear its head, but, like, this could tie into that kind of thing, so... no real details about it, so there's nothing to get excited about. It's just a piece of news. I mean, it's just kind of...
Made us giggle.
Doom reboot. Seriously. But, yeah, seriously, I'll only watch it if The Rock's in it. But if who knows? I mean, if fucking Chris Nolan directed it, I'd fucking watch it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's not the case, obviously.
No.
But
obviously, it depends.
It depends who's working
names.
on it, yeah. If certain good names are attached to this, it could potentially be good, but most likely won't.
Yeah, you can say that about any video game.
Absolutely.
You can make a movie out of any video game.
Absolutely.
If the people behind it are good enough, they can do it. But
anyway,
there you go. Last bits. There are a couple of trailers released this week. I'd just like to talk about, just draw people's attention to. First one is one for a relative unknown studio called Adhesive Games. They released a trailer for a game they're working on called Hawken.
Yep.
Which came out of nowhere, but has taken the internet by storm.
Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It looks really, really cool.
It's made with Unreal Engine's, the Unreal Development Kit, which anyone can download, basically, from Epic, but looks pretty impressive. I think it's going to be a downloadable... Yeah. We know very little about it, but what we do know, I think it's been confirmed it's going to be a downloadable title, so it's going to be... Xbox Live, PSN, possibly on the PC as well.
I'm guessing it's sort of like a class-based multiplayer versus
it's
kind of
mech
first-person
combat.
shooter. Yeah,
that's the thing to kind of the point to bring across here,
Yeah.
because obviously we've not really mentioned it, is mech
combat.
Mech combat.
Because I'll just give a brief description of the trailer. You see like this cityscape, kind of like this urban factory type thing, and it looks gorgeous. It looks really great. And then they send in the mechs.
Pretty
They
amazing.
go flying,
yeah.
and it looks cool. And obviously, from what we can see of the trailer, there are different kinds of everything. So it's obviously going to be that class-based, sort of Monday Night Combat, sort of class-based, Team Fortress 2 sort of thing, I imagine.
With mechs.
With mechs. Yeah.
So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, it looks amazing. I mean, like I say, go check out the trailer on search on YouTube.
It really reminded me a lot of like the old Mech Warrior games that I used to play when I was younger. So that's got me really, really excited. The other trailer thought we'd do is for Prototype 2.
Teaser trailer.
It was a teaser trailer.
But it was I showed this to you and I said, look, this you have to watch this Prototype 2 trailer. It made me laugh and
recommend everyone. It's Radical Entertainment, published by Activision.
Once again, it's another game I'm looking forward to. A game that might not have got a sequel, but I think it deserves a second chance. It was a good premise, and they can do a lot with a sequel. I'm hoping they do.
One of our big gripes with the first game, I think, was just the way it looked.
Yeah,
kind of the way the early teasers for the first one were shown. You didn't really see a lot.
Yeah,
very much of what the actual game looked like.
It looked, personally, I mean, I played it on 360. I don't know how it looked on PlayStation 3, but I don't imagine it looked that much different. It looked last gen, as in PlayStation 2-ish, Xbox-ish.
I think the only good thing about it was like last gen, but with a bigger draw distance. Yeah, and that was it. Whereas you see a little bit of like the textures and everything in this teaser trailer, and it looks like they have. We've made the point in previous shows about graphics and open worldness and stuff like that, and how the graphics do kind of suffer when you've got such a big open world, and that's why we kind of gave a lot of credit to Red Dead Redemption, because the game looks pretty good for such a massively open world game. And so, they've shown that it can be done.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they really, really do kind of take on a little bit of what people have said. And yeah, the graphics were probably the main thing for me that I disliked.
Like I said, what little we saw of in the Prototype 2 trailer looked good. If the whole game looks like that,
I'll be happy. Yeah, I'll be happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Dead excited about that.
Excellent.
And that concludes this week's news.
Pretty much. I just kind of want to not bring things down a little bit, but kind of mention that our thoughts go out to everybody in Japan at the moment.
Oh yeah, totally.
Obviously, what's happened there is an absolute it's affected a lot of people, obviously, and I personally don't have family out that way or anything like that, but my sympathy goes out to people who do, and people out there.
A lot of people in the games community, in the games developers community, obviously Japan is one of the biggest exporters of video games around the world.
Absolutely,
so a lot of people there banding together, and they're finding ways of raising money for relief and support.
Absolutely,
and like I said, find it out, help however you can.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, hello, welcome back to the Games4all podcast. We're just basically going to talk about what games coming out this week, and it's a pretty slow week, as you could imagine. And obviously we had a few big titles come out the last few weeks. This week, Homefront, which we'll be playing live on Ustream tonight at 6 PM GMT. So it's part of our Game Night Live series that we're kind of starting. So yeah, pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Very excited to play it. I mean, this has been on my radar for a little while, and it is primarily a first-person shooter, but I'm kind of hoping it does something a little bit different and pushes FPSs to do things that
I'm
push it in new
hoping
directions and stuff.
But obviously, check out our Ustream feed and see what you think on the game, and it might sway you whether you want to buy it on Friday or not.
Absolutely. So yeah, it comes out Friday, like you mentioned. It's from THQ and Chaos Studios, and yeah, it looks pretty. It looks, I mean, from what I've seen the trailers, pretty amazing. I mean, I've heard that it's got quite a short campaign. It's like 5 hours or something. The quality, it could be quality over quantity. That's fine with me if that's the case. Apparently the multiplayer is really good, so we won't be playing that tonight, but we'll, I'm sure I'll weigh in on that next week. Yeah. I'm hoping, if it's only 5 hours long, I would have finished the campaign by next week's show. So, but yeah, looking forward to playing that. So, tonight, 6 PM on our website, www.games4allpodcast.com. That's with the number 4. What else? Facebook. Sorry, it was kind of a brain fuck there. Yeah, check us. You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Games4all podcast.
You can also follow our Twitter feed, which is twitter.com/Games4all.
Indeed. And if you want to email us with anything, it's podcast@Games4allpodcast.com. Like I said, that's the number 4. So, thank you very much for listening and downloading. Please also check out our good friends at the Underground Geek Network. They've been pretty awesome to us, and we'll be putting a bit of a promo together to kind of, send to them so they can put that in their show, and, bit of
hopefully we'll make ours sound as good as theirs. Yeah,
it'd be cool. So, check those guys out. They're doing some awesome work there. And we will be back next week with another edition of the audio podcast.
Yep.
But like I said, check us out tonight playing Homefront. It's going to be awesome. So
cool. See you next week. Well, I won't see you, but you can hear me next week. Hear us next week. It's not all about me.
Release the consoles! Oh!
For more episodes of the Games4all podcast, please check out our website, www.Games4allpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/Games4all. And you can like us on Facebook, just search for Games4all podcast. Games4all is brought to you by iPage. For more affordable and greener web hosting, check out iPage.com. Page.com. 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 Page.com, 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 Page.com,